You are watching and listening live, delayed, here in Studio B. We're about to begin our radio broadcast for the daily Delaware County Today radio show. That is the mayor of Muncie, Indiana. He is in the shot right there. He can wave if he wants to, but no one can hear him yet. We'll be routing audio with buttons and lights that are flashing, and do that in just moments and seconds. It is Monday, May 11th. We have a lot to cover today with this young man and others. Please stand by for Delaware County Today.
Now, new, live, and local, and every weekday from 8 to 9 a.m. This is the show talking about what you want to know, what you need to know, and part of Woof Boom Radio's mission to use our voice to build our community. The all-new Delaware County Today, presented by Muncie Community Schools. Now on WMUN, the Talk of Muncie. Here's your host, Director of News Operations and lead morning anchor, Steve Lindell.
Now on the video and the radio, we're in the two-shot. That is the mayor. He's talking to me. In just a moment, we'll also cover up, the great word about Ball State baseball. They're home again tomorrow. We'll also have a couple of breaking news stories that we were following through the weekend here in Muncie and beyond. Let's begin with our weather first. That comes from WMUN meteorologist Paul Poteet.
Good morning. Got a nice day ahead with temperatures up around 70 degrees and a mostly to partly sunny forecast. Will be mostly clear tonight, low of 42. Then partly sunny tomorrow all the way up to 74. A cold front does swing through here tomorrow night, and that should bring us some showers and storms. The rain amounts probably under 1/4 of an inch. No severe weather expected. And we are somewhat cooler behind that front. Wednesday, 66, becoming partly sunny. Mostly sunny, 65 Thursday. And 72, partly sunny Friday. And stand back because the weekend's going into the low 80s. Mostly sunny Saturday, and then scattered showers and storms on Sunday. That's WMUN Muncie weather. And now, back to Steve.
And I thank you, Paul Poteet. He is a meteorologist. He does hourly weather updates here on WMUN. The home of Studio B for this morning. Our first guest for the week is the mayor of Muncie. Dan Ridenour is here, suited up for good reason. We'll get to that in just a moment. We welcome you in, sir, and how are you doing this Monday?
I am doing well. Thank you, Steve.
We are glad that you are here. Let's start with a couple of serious items here from over the weekend in the Muncie area. For those that aren't aware, there was a police action shooting on early Saturday morning. Mm-hmm. There was a Sunday situation where police were called, where we know that one has passed and two are injured. We'll look for more condition updates. I know it's very early in the investigations of both, but just some broad comments, if you would, Mr. Mayor.
Well, investigations are ongoing in both, and because it was a police action shooting on the one where that is the state police, they're doing that investigation. We always want a third party doing that. And then the other one, the investigation is ongoing. It appears to have been a domestic incident, and we'll see when it's all finished.
All right, very good. Thank you for that. Mr. Mayor of Muncie always allows us to ask the questions that need to be asked, and there's a lot of things going on all the time. Now let's get a little personal, because that's obviously one of the most new chunks of information that you shared a couple of weeks ago now, maybe a few. Your personal health situation. For those that don't know, if you might share just a little summary of what you're dealing with and what they're going to be doing for you.
Okay. Well, back in August, I had my annual physical, and my PSA numbers went from 1, had been one for decades, my whole life, essentially. Went to 14, and that caused a lot of tests to be run. They did those tests, scanned, blah, 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 blah. In October, they did a biopsy, came back, and they said, there's something there, but it looks like it's slow moving. Just to be safe, we'll do another biopsy 6 months later, which they did. This was this past April. And that came back, and they said, no, it's moving fast, so we want to take some steps. So we decided, my wife and I decided, we'll just have the prostate removed, and hopefully it will then not spread to any other organs inside my body. So that, we had to wait.
Yeah.
The biopsy was the second week of April, and you had to wait, because I said, well, let's just do it. How quickly can we do this? But they said, you have to go 6 weeks and let the body heal from the biopsy. So the earliest we could do it was June. So and the first surgery day was Tuesday, June 2nd. So it will be June 2nd is when we will have this done, and it'll cause me to be out of the office for 6 weeks or so.
I don't know if you noticed this or not. No, I know you pretty well because we talk a lot, and you're very open and sharing and so forth, on and off the record, and I appreciate both. But I don't think you even noticed when you did your social media post in your office there that day, a couple of weeks ago or whatever, the way you posed it was almost apologetic towards missing work. You kind of let off with, well, I'm sorry, everybody, I'm gonna have to miss how many weeks of work, whatever. 6 weeks of work, and it's and then you finally got to the fact that you had to go in for surgery, and you laid out what you just explained. You're kind of wired that way.
I am
aren't
wired
you?
that way, so I'm not excited at all, but I would like to get it out of my body.
Yep, absolutely. So. And thoughts and prayers,
thank you.
Of course, from everybody. One of the other, important factoids is, you'll be out of touch for some period of time, and rightfully so, to recover. We don't have a deputy mayor. That was defunded by city council, and I think everybody knows the whens and wheres of that. So there's nobody officially as a deputy mayor. So how does that work?
Yeah, the state statute says for a short-term leave, which is what this will be, that the mayor can appoint somebody from the city council. I'm appointing Jeff Green, who is the city council president. And it's not like he will be in the office every day running the city, but he will be there in those instances where something needs to be signed or handled. Because for 2 weeks I'm not available, and so he will handle it during that period of time.
Did you at all consider appointing me as deputy mayor?
I did not, because the state statute did not allow that.
Oh, but otherwise,
had it said anybody on the city council or a radio buddy, I would have considered that, yes.
Very nice. Thanks for just making that up. This is Muncie Mayor Dan Ridenour making me feel important. I'm Steve Lindell. This is WMUN's Delaware County Today. Before we get to some housing updates and some ribbon cuttings, why don't we deal with the fact of how you're dressed today? You are going to be part of an important ceremony, I understand?
Yeah, we have, this is our annual event. It celebrates and remembers police officers and other first responders. It's at Policeman Park, which is right across the street from City Hall, and I will be doing a welcome. So I am not the featured speaker today, but I will be doing a welcome, and always happy. I think personally, I think the main responsibility of a mayor is public safety, and look forward to being able to honor those who have served in that capacity.
And Muncie Mayor Dan Ridenour, this is National Policemen's Week. And there's various things that'll happen in Washington, D.C. and other places around our country. And then, of course, there are some items at the track, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Let's jump to that for a second. I think I'm correct in giving you an unofficial title in a previous life stature as a hoser. Is that right?
You could. So what? Yes,
go ahead.
That will work.
Go ahead.
That will work. So, no, I spent. I was on the Cahill Racing team, and our driver was Robbie McGee, who was the 1999 Rookie of the Year. And I connected the team with some sponsorship. I was friends with Roger Riney, who owns Scottrade, the online investment company.
Wow.
And I connected them. Robbie was a St. Louis driver, He's now retired, but I connected them and was able to put together a deal that gave some sponsorship money. And so what I got to do, part of that package, was I got to be part of the pit crew. Now, they would not let me jump over the wall, but I did pull the hose back from the right front tire changer.
Okay, hence the nickname Hoser that I just gave you.
Hence the nickname Hoser.
Okay, good.
And I will tell you, it is quite the adrenaline rush when you have 25, 30 cars coming down the pit lane, and you got to get in and out real quick. It was a lot of fun.
This was some time ago, right? I mean,
yeah, this was around 2001, maybe.
Okay, very good. I love those stories. Muncie Mayor Dan Ridenour. I also love the stories about improvements to your city, our city, and we have some ribbon cuttings for some next steps in some housing updates. Lay those out for us.
We do. There's a new apartment complex on Kilgore. We had called it Kilgore Place so that people could knew what it represented, but it's across from Westside Park, across the river from Westside Park, and it's on Kilgore. The 120-unit apartment complex built by TWG out of Indianapolis, that will have a ribbon cutting on the 19th of May.
All right.
And so we're excited for those 120 units for people to move into. It is our very first apartment complex that has both market price and affordable in the same building. That will have a lot of amenities, and we're excited for that.
And then we have one
Crew,
right across from Muncie Central.
Yeah, Crew Construction has, I think they've got the opening of their building downtown as well. And I believe that is May 29th. It's on my calendar, and we look forward. They've done really good work, not with the building downtown, but also with the townhomes across from Muncie Central.
Muncie Mayor Dan Ridenour, our guest in Studio B on WMUN's Delaware County Today. It's Monday, May 11th. Cone zones, we have some things that are opening up for commencement weekend and then getting blocked off by some cones and so forth. We were asked by a listener to see if we could get a couple of updates on that from you.
Yes, the AEP is doing their utility work. They are nearly complete. They weren't able to get it 100% complete before the commencement ceremonies, so the cones went away. But now they're back. They'll finish. This is going from Northside Middle School out to Tillotson, and then also from Tillotson and Bethel up to McGalliard. So there's still some little bits of work that they need to finish there. Once they are finished, then we will be moving forward with the Tillotson work, which will be a massive project, the largest one that I've done since I've been mayor. And that will go from Kilgore, Indiana 32, all the way up to McGalliard.
Okay. Last thing I would ask you about while I have your ear is Muncie Mall. Any progress as far as the deconstruction that you're hearing from the owners of that facility?
Yes, we had some conversations with them recently, and I will say I think the best word to use is they are giddy.
Okay.
Because of the national companies that have an interest in those 55 acres. There are a couple of them competing. They're both in the same business, and they both want to be in Muncie. We know, and Hull Properties knows, and probably those two entities know that we're not the size where we can handle both of those. But they are competing, and it has really been a positive thing for Hull Properties and will be for Muncie as well. And there are several other companies that are saying, hey, here's where we'd like to be, and here's where, once this is down. So they're doing the interior work now. Some of that outside might be visible here in the next week or so, but inside they're tearing it all down, filling up dumpsters. There are dumpsters in several locations, and getting ready to tear the buildings down. Once that happens, that 55 acres becomes available, and they are working diligently to come up with some really positive things for Muncie.
All right, great stuff. Anything else we wanted to touch on this morning before we let you go, Mr. Mayor?
No, I would just say please enjoy, have a fun day today. Enjoy this wonderful weather today and tomorrow. Thank you to Paul Poteet for that update, and I'm excited about the weather, and maybe we're actually going to get our spring. And I'm ready to get out to the track as well. So.
I bet you are.
Yeah.
Muncie Mayor Dan Ridenour, our first guest of the week. We're just getting underway with Delaware County Today on WMUN.
Spring is showing up and showing out. Give your yard its own moment with limited time deals from Lowe's. Grab select 1.5-gallon annuals hanging baskets, 2 for only $15. Plus, we've got Miracle-Gro 0.75 cubic foot garden soil, 5 bags for just $10. A little dirt, a little color, and we are so back. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid 5/7 through 5/13. Selection varies by location. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
As a fitness coach, my active psoriatic arthritis can slow me down. With Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, I'm treating my skin and joint symptoms so I can keep moving. Skyrizi, a prescription-only injection for adults, helps me move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. And for those who have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible. With Skyrizi, there's no daily dosing. It's just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement. And that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
Stories surround us everywhere. In the pages of a novel, the panels of a comic book, the verses of a song, or the lines of a poem. But what makes these stories resonate? What connects them to our lives? Join Cam and TC every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. for WMUN's Page Turners, the broadcast book club brought to you by Yorktown Public Library, where they explore the art of storytelling in all its forms. Join the story on 92.5 FM, 1340 AM, and Alexa, say, play WMUN. Every story has a beginning. Find yours with Page Turners on Radio First, then on demand at WMUNmuncie.com. Want to hear more? Replays uploaded daily on WMUNmuncie.com. Now back to Delaware County Today with Steve Lindell, presented by Muncie Community Schools.
Nomenclature is the WMUN word of the day. Thank you to my beautiful wife, Nancy, for finding the word of the day calendar at a garage sale somewhere. Nomenclature, name, designation, the act or process or an instance of naming. When I started my new job as a laboratory assistant, I was confronted by a whole range of unfamiliar terms, but I quickly became familiar with the nomenclature. That is the WMUN word of the day. Use it in a sentence, please, and impress your friends. Hello to Nederland, Colorado. That's a new city to me. There's Mansfield, Ohio. Is there a university there? Speedway, Indiana. Maybe it's Doug Bowles checking in from his Friday appearance when he was with us in the Zoom room on WMUN. Portland, Oregon, of course. Sister Sherry clicks on very early in the morning. I mean, earlier than even the 3-hour time zone difference. Then she sometimes falls back asleep and then wakes up because she's got to hear her brother. And that would be me. Minnesota, Mama. Great talk yesterday, Mom. I had so much fun talking to you. Roger was out mowing the grass, drinking the coffee, and enjoying the Mother's Day there. Redondo Beach, California. And West Covina, is that funky, cold West Covina? I'm not sure. And Slovenia was on earlier this morning. Wow, we're getting out there. It is the month of May, as you full well know. One big race, actually several under their belt. Let's get a summary now from the voice of the Indianapolis 500 here on WMUN.
The month of May rolls along. Christian Lundgaard wins the Sanzio Grand Prix on the road course. From the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, this is Mark Janes. Christian Lundgaard picked up his second career win with a late race pass on David Malukas to win the Sanzio Grand Prix on the road course at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Saturday. David Malukas finished second, while Graham Rahal finished third. It was the 18th race on the fast and challenging road course at IMS. For now, the Speedway is silent, but only for another day. Tuesday, preparations begin for the Indianapolis 500. 6 hours of practice will be scheduled, beginning at noon Eastern and running until 6 p.m. That will be the schedule as well for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Friday, of course, is Fast Friday when they turn the boost up and cars will be placed into qualifying trim. And then a full day of qualifying scheduled for Saturday and Sunday to set the field for this year's Indianapolis 500.
And we are off and running here inside Studio B with even more additions and build-ups as we build out this facility. It is looking very comfy cozy in here. If you're watching the video replay, you can see what I'm talking about. If you're just listening on the radio, that's great. Radio, the original social media. However, you're missing part of the fun. You can go to the YouTube page, sign up to follow that for video updates. It is Woof Boom Studio B. That's the name of the channel, Woof Boom Studio B. It is our multi-purpose video audio studio, which is to be used for even more great content to come. Ball State baseball is home tomorrow, and the weather looks like it'll be permitting. Purdue will boiler up into Shebeck Stadium, and that one will be live on the WMUN right here. 2:45 is the predicted and projected pregame. And Mr. Kurt Darling calls that one, our Woof Boom Sports Director. That's a Tuesday home game, free to get in, and I bet they'll have hot dogs for sale. I'm just saying. Let's get a snapshot of your day today.
It's May 11th, and this is your Fox Daily Snapshot. Today is the day we all get to show off our love of food as we celebrate National Eat What You Want Day. Have you ever wanted to try Baked Alaska? Go ahead. Is your guilty pleasure to eat a ridiculous number of chili cheese dogs? Well, don't feel ashamed. Today is the day to disregard the scale and indulge. Also on this date, General Electric opened the very first television station in 1928. Located in Schenectady, New York, WRGB began broadcasting experimentally, but would broadcast actual programming later the same year. And in 1977, media mogul Ted Turner managed a game for the Atlanta Braves. Pitcher Phil Niekro was starting that game for Atlanta and jokingly asked the rookie manager where he wanted him to hit in the lineup. Turner's response, "Well, you've been here long enough, hit wherever you want." Niekro hit ninth, where he would have hit normally. The Braves, however, lost the game 2-1. I'm Tushar Saxena with your Fox Daily Snapshot.
On WMUN 92.5 FM, 1340 AM, and on the Woof Boom Studio B page. That is from YouTube. Nice day today, starting at about 43 around here. We'll get 67 in the afternoon. Should have a little clouds increase, but nothing supposed to come from those clouds. And then the Tuesday forecast is for 74 for that Ball State home baseball game that I mentioned. Any shower chance or thunder thing would come late day and part of the overnight, Tuesday into Wednesday while you're sleeping. We'll see if any of this changes. As you may full well know, WMUN meteorologist Paul Poteet has the hourly weather updates here on WMUN and the rest of the Woof Boom radio group. Next item now, health officials are using this month to raise awareness about the most common form of cancer.
This is House Call for Health. May is Skin Cancer Awareness Month. The American Academy of Dermatology Association says it's to shine a light on how to reduce your risk of developing skin cancer, how to find skin cancer early when it's highly treatable, and the fact that people of all skin tones develop skin cancer. The association this year also tackling misinformation about skin cancer, offering signs to help spot misinformation. For instance, if tanning is recommended, they say that's misinformation because tanning either from the sun or with a machine is never harmless or healthy. If you're told to avoid sunscreen, also misinformation. And if sun protection is recommended only on hot sunny days, misinformation again. The sun can damage skin every day, even when it's cold or cloudy. An estimated 9,500 people in the U.S. are diagnosed with skin cancer every day. You can get more information at aad.org. Or for more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
On WMUN, News Talk, Sports Talk, Community Talk, one of our 6 formats in the Woof Boom radio group, we all use our voice to build and connect our community. One of our main focus points on this program and many others every day is keeping you informed with our news. We have a lot to cover next, including some updates to some Muncie happenings over the weekend. We'll tell you what we know this morning in just a moment on WMUN.
This year, WMUN is celebrating its 100th anniversary. Every day, we will bring you an important story that shaped our community's history. May 11. In 1987, the Muncie community gathered for the historic groundbreaking of the Minnetrista Cultural Center. Built on the site of the original Ball family homes, the center was designed to be a living room of Delaware County history. This project represented a new era of civic pride, ensuring that Muncie stories would be preserved for future generations. It turned a historic garden into a world-class museum. The creation of Minnetrista provided Muncie with a permanent institution to manage the city's vast historical archives.
This is Wolf Boom's Zach Johnson. We congratulate WMUN on this milestone and stand with everyone dedicated to Muncie's vibrant and successful future.
Here in Muncie, we know what it means to show up for one another. We celebrate our wins, big and small. And when times get tough, we lean in, not away. At WMUN, we're more than just a voice on the radio. We are your neighbor, your friend, your connection to what matters most. Every morning, we wake up with you, sharing the stories of our city, highlighting the heroes you don't always hear about, and cheering on the teams that carry our hopes on their shoulders. This isn't just news and sports. This is home. From the streets of downtown to the heart of Delaware County, we're here because you're here. Thanks for letting WMUN be part of your day. We're proud to be your hometown station. Want to hear more? Replays uploaded daily on WMUNmuncie.com. Now back to Delaware County Today with Steve Lindell, presented by Muncie Community Schools.
Take you into the wide shot of Studio B, and there's the TV shot. That is Kurt Darling, our sports director for Wolf Boom Radio. He was on the Friday program. We're on a Monday, May 11th right now. Hello, Chicagoland and Detroit. I've seen you clicked on there, and some others too, to check in on what's going on around Muncie, Delaware County. I'm Steve Lindell, your host of the daily program here, 8 to 9 a.m. live and on demand at WMUNmuncie.com. If you ever miss or want to replay the audio and wonder, did Steve really say that? Or if you want the video version, there's the YouTube page. Wolf Boom Studio B is the name of the channel. Wolf Boom Studio B. Please subscribe or follow that channel. Now we're up to our local news summary. Over the weekend, there were 2 instances in the Muncie area specifically, which police are certainly investigating and looking into. In a moment, you'll hear what we know about the police action shooting that occurred on very early Saturday morning. That story forthcoming. Then Sunday night, that was May the 10th. Actually, it wasn't even night. It was more about 5:30 p.m. approximately. Here's what we know. This is from a release from the Muncie Police Department. They were sent to the 2700 block of South Walnut Street. Reports of several people being shot. 3 victims were found. A 23-year-old female who later died from her multiple wounds. A 39-year-old male who, as of the release late yesterday, 10 p.m. or so, is hospitalized locally in stable condition. And a 40-year-old male who was airlifted to an Indianapolis hospital in critical condition. There is a 21-year-old male suspect in custody after being apprehended, get this, by a passing retired Muncie police officer and another on-duty officer responding to that situation. The incident is still being investigated. The release continues. There is no threat ongoing to the public, and no other suspects are at large. Information is encouraged to be shared, please, and you can do that privately, I'm sure. The Muncie Police Detective Division phone number is 765-747-4867, or you can call the dispatch number 765-747-4838. So that's the latest we know on that Sunday situation. Again, the Saturday situation will be included as one of our news items right now. These stories and more airing on all of our stations in East Central Indiana, and now for you on WMUN. Muncie police have asked the Indiana State Police to investigate an officer-involved shooting early Saturday. Officers called around 2:17 in the morning to West Oakland Avenue, where a man reportedly was trying to break his way into a home. They say 51-year-old James Patrick Willis tried to get away in a pickup truck and drove toward an officer who fired, hitting Willis. He continued driving and later crashed near Tillotson and Godman, where he was pronounced dead. People hacking a digital classroom platform cause problems at lots of schools, including in Indiana.
At schools like IU and Ivy Tech, this kind of breach means people could change grades on Canvas, steal passwords, or even log in as teachers to send out fake assignments or messages. It's confusing students, especially as they're trying to finish their final exams. One Hoosier student posted on social media that she thinks her grade dropped because of the hack. Jake McDaniel, Network Indiana.
That hantavirus-stricken cruise ship arrived off the coast of Spain after 3 passengers died.
The hantavirus-plagued MV Hondias has arrived in the Canary Islands. The World Health Organization is reassuring people on the Spanish island that there is no risk to the public. 17 Americans on the ship will be flown to Nebraska, where they'll be monitored by a CDC team.
Fox's Chanley Painter says the World Health Organization are saying the disease is not easily contractable and likely won't cause another global pandemic. The CDC says if mice or rats are around your home, clean up after them safely.
The week ahead.
Monday, President Trump welcomes the championship Indiana University football team to the White House. Tuesday, it's primary day in both Nebraska and West Virginia. I'm Anna Eliopoulos, Fox News.
Ivy Tech Community College Muncie celebrated commencement over the weekend. They posted that a recording of the full commencement will be up on their YouTube channel later this week. Delta Yorktown girls tennis Smash Cancer last Thursday raised $20,000 for local causes. The online ordering system closed yesterday, but there's always next year to help. Delta swept the varsity match and won the JV match too. Madison County deputies investigating after 2 men were found dead late Saturday night. Officers called to a home in the 3000 block of North 200 West, just north of Anderson. When they arrived, they found 2 men dead inside. WTTV says that a third man was taken into custody. No other details released yet, and the case is obviously under investigation. An IMPD officer is recovering after being shot by a man on the north side of Indianapolis Friday night.
IMPD says officers were initially responding to a report that someone was killed and that a gun was involved.
The officer learned no one had been killed, but a disturbance had occurred.
IMPD Assistant Chief Michael Wally says that man then fired shots in the direction of police, hitting one officer. The officer who was hit is in stable condition. Jarrett Lewis, Network Indiana.
Mark Janes with a recap of the Sanzio Grand Prix at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It was Christian Lundgaard who made the right call on the day. He gets to victory lane for just the second time in his career, winning the Sanzio Grand Prix.
As part of a plea deal, a Marion man has pleaded guilty to multiple charges involving Delaware County cases, the most serious of which left a Muncie teenager paralyzed after being shot in 2023. Star Press says 25-year-old Austin E.J. James is scheduled for sentencing June 10. Getting faster internet to homes and businesses across Indiana is the goal for Comcast. John Herrick reports on what they say they're doing to meet the goal.
Comcast says they're connecting more than 2,100 new homes and businesses in several central Indiana counties. Joni Hart is the Vice President of Government and Community Affairs for Comcast Indiana.
2 pieces to that. One piece is just the access to the infrastructure.
The other part of that is what she calls broadband adoption, which is about giving people the ability and the means to have the right technology for this. John Herrick, Network Indiana.
275 graduates walked across the stage Saturday at Anderson University's 108th commencement ceremony, the first for Scott Moats as AU's president. He described the ceremony to the Herald Bulletin as, quote, surreal for him to see this year's class graduate so quickly. Ball State men's volleyball capped another standout season, reaching the Final Four for the 17th time in program history. Number 4 seed Cardinals battled hard in a 4-set semifinal against UC Irvine at Pauley Pavilion in Los Angeles, finishing the year with an impressive 26-5 record. Governor Mike Braun said last week he's expanding his new parent leave policy.
Braun says he's now making sure eligible state employees who welcome a child into their home through foster care can get paid leave to care for the child.
These first family efforts reflect my commitment to supporting parents, strengthening families.
John Herbeck, Network Indiana.
Local aviation writer and inventor Tim Kern has created a system that automates the weight and balance calculation for airplanes. He says it's a more serious issue for smaller aircraft.
On the smaller planes, the airplane won't even fly. And the wrong time to find that out is when you're like, maybe you're Aaliyah's pilot, and you get to the end of the runway and you say, oh, we're going in the ocean. And that's the end of that.
Large aircraft take off all the time overweight and are often hit with fines. Redistricting was largely... I'm not sure what happened there, but I'm sure we can work that out. Technological things occur from time to time. I'm Steve Lindell, Live Radio. WMUN, News Talk, Sports Talk, Community Talk. We're at 8:40 now, 20 until 9 o'clock. Yeah, and at 9 o'clock, I am told that we will have a best of episode of the 765businessjournal.com radio show. Guest Jeff Howe will join Arlethay Pegues from 9 to 9:30 this morning. And then at 9:30, we will have Dottie Krebs as the guest of Dr. Joe Mashevitz. He's the host with the most for all kinds of people. That's part of our Monday morning talk block here on WMUN. We will go to our final break of the hour, and then we'll build through with the final content in the final segment. This is Delaware County Today on WMUN.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio. I'm Gary Dick. IndyCar CEO Mark Miles says the 2026 season is continuing TV ratings momentum for the series, up 45% over last year through 5 races. Miles credits the Fox TV package and unique partnerships like a collaboration with the Dallas Cowboys and Texas Rangers for the Arlington race.
Major leagues think at another level. They're so well connected. They've got huge databases, fan bases. And then we really blew it out collectively, and the setup, the look of it, I think it rivaled anything that Formula One does in this country.
In Northwest Indiana, the Hobart Plan Commission has approved 2 site plans totaling more than 750 acres for a planned Amazon data center campus. Commissioners heard hours of contentious public testimony on the proposals. In November, Amazon announced plans to invest $15 billion to build new data center campuses and create about 1,100 jobs. You're listening to Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Do you own an import-export business? If so, your company could save time and money with foreign trade zones. FTZs are designated sites across the United States where you can reduce, defer, and even eliminate import duties, helping you stay competitive in the global marketplace. And if you're in central Indiana, InZone will even cover the cost of a feasibility study to assess your potential savings, because smart companies get in the zone. Learn more at inzone.org.
Northeast Indiana is essential to elevating Indiana's future. Explore how IBJ Media, Inside Indiana Business, and the state of Indiana are bringing a bold vision for regional growth at Innovate Northeast Indiana. Presented by CareSource, Indiana University, and Old National Bank. Join Governor Mike Braun and business and community leaders for a candid discussion on growth, workforce development, and innovation. We'll be at the Clyde Theater Friday, May 15th. RSVP now at ibj.com/innovate.
Want to hear more? Replays uploaded daily on WMUNmuncie.com. Now back to Delaware County Today with Steve Lindell, presented by Muncie Community Schools.
So proud and happy to have you wherever you are listening and or watching the YouTube channel again for replays of video content. That's available for you on the YouTube page, and the channel name is Woof Boom Studio B. Woof Boom Studio B. One of our really clickable episodes from last week included Doug Bowles, the leader of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We were able to snag him with a live Zoom room guest on the Friday program. If for some reason you may have missed that one, and that's okay. We don't expect you to be here every day. We kind of want you to be here every day. But, you know, things come up and you got a life to live, then replay it. That's why we have it there, for you to access, to you to get at the content however you deem to be useful and yummy. They did not read that from a card. Sister Sherry left coast before the end of the hour. Let's see if she's still listening. Hold on. She may have gone yep, she's not there anymore. So she might be out of touch, but she was on earlier. I do see, is it Colorado? Yep, there's Nederland again. Hi, Nederland. And some other listeners across the fruited plain. Before the end of the hour, time permitting, and I think I will have time permitting, I will tell you a Mother's Day story. And the story, here's a tease, the story of the children that are very, very much in the business of wanting to impress mom the most. There's the tease. We'll get to the payoff before the end of the hour. And Roger, rightfully so, requires me to pay off those promises, those teases. Sometimes I don't, because I'm a dude. All right, next item this morning, a former federal lawmaker heads to jail.
I'm Chad Pergram with the Speaker's Lobby. Former Republican Florida Representative David Rivera is going to jail. A jury convicted the former lawmaker recently in connection with his role in a $50 million lobbying campaign on behalf of Venezuela during the first Trump administration. Rivera was convicted on failing to register as a foreign agent with the Justice Department and conspiracy to commit money laundering fraud as part of his work for the government of former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. Rivera is a friend of Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Rubio testified in the trial, as did GOP Texas Representative Pete Sessions. Rubio and Sessions were shocked to learn later of Rivera's consulting influences. Prosecutors say Rivera manipulated Rubio, Sessions, and others, quote, like pawns on a chessboard. This was part of an effort to get the first Trump administration to normalize relations with Venezuela. Speaking in code, Rivera and others would always describe Maduro as, quote, the bus driver in text messages. Rivera shared a home with Rubio in Tallahassee when they served in the state legislature. With the Speaker's Lobby, Chad Pergram, Fox News.
On WMUN's Delaware County today, we are News Talk, Sports Talk, Community Talk. We're also Tony Katz Talk with a new sponsor, by the way, of his show that may start today. It's very possible. We always accept new sponsors. We're very, very appreciative of all of our old sponsors as well as our new sponsors. Reach out and support local radio today, why don't you? We would appreciate it, and we need you. We also want to help you. I'm Steve Lindell, host of Delaware County Today. This is the talk station of our 6-format radio group in East Central Indiana. We also have WLBC, we have WERK, we have Max, we have Blake, we have Oldies 101, and of course, right here for you, this is the WMUN with Ball State baseball planned for tomorrow, May the 12th. Wolf Boom Sports Director Kurt Darling will be on the play-by-play, and he always, not always, but oftentimes has some surprises thrown in where maybe there's some guest announcers that call an inning or more of the ball game. I love it when he does that. It's great fun. So just listen and enjoy a nice, beautiful day in Muncie, Indiana on Tuesday. That is one of the, I think, 4 remaining broadcast games that we have in the regular season for WMUN and our association with the Ball State Cardinal baseball team, and it is at Shebeck Stadium. All of those free admission home games remain and made possible by automaticpoolcovers.com, automaticpoolcovers.com. Next item this morning, people are talking about a look into which party is favored to be in the majority in one congressional chamber.
This is Poll Poteet with Fox News Director of Polling, Dana Blanton.
With 6 months until voters pick their congressional representative, we've been tracking the national mood, and our Fox News poll finds a close race for the House. A year ago, Democrats were favored by 7 percentage points. Now, it's a 5-point edge within the margin of sampling error. If the election were today, 52% of voters say they'd back the Democratic candidate in their district, 47% the Republican. That difference comes from greater enthusiasm on the left. By an 8-point margin, more Democrats than Republicans say they feel extremely motivated to vote this year. It's important to remember, while a lead on the generic House ballot question reflects a national preference, House seats are decided district by district. So a party's advantage in the polls doesn't directly translate into winning seats, especially these days with so few competitive districts. I'm Dana Blanton. That's your Poll Poteet.
On WMUN, an affiliate of Fox News Radio, updates right around the top of the hour, every day, because news happens all the time. Seemingly more lately in recent weeks and months than ever before. I don't know, it seems like that to me. Steve Lindell live in our Studio B of Woof Boom Radio on the campus of all of our stations on the south side of Muncie, Indiana. We are glad to be here and there and everywhere to serve you. If you ever want to reach out, there's lots of ways to do that. You can stop us at the grocery store. We shop where you shop. Or you can give us a phone call and leave a voicemail message. That is 289-6397. 289-6397. That's a good place to send news tips, too. If you see something happening that you want us to know about quickly, leave a quick voicemail message there. Tell us what you're seeing, what you're hearing, etc., and we can look into that very, very quickly and then make sure we use our broadcasting as opposed to narrowcasting for informing the communities that we serve. There's also the other way to reach out and get to us, email. Good old-fashioned or newfangled email, WMUN@woofboom.com. WMUN@woof, like the dog, boom, like the firecracker.com. With listeners locally on the FM and the AM, and then, of course, we also have the digital platforms. There you see California and Minnesota, as mentioned, a whole bunch in the upper Midwest, all those buttons on the screen there. We have a lot of ways to listen, and of course that's just in the live method. You can always replay, and if you need help on that, just ask a kid for tech support. Next item this morning, we care a lot around these parts about the automotive world. U.S. auto sales nationally fell in April.
It's Fox Wheels.
Auto sales were down in the U.S. for a fourth straight month, falling 6.7% in April, as the industry adjusts to affordability issues, including tariffs, higher costs, and gas prices. With fluctuating incentives, the only thing driving car buyers right now. Case in point, Ford's recent launch of its employee pricing program. If there's any good news here, it's that depending on what car buyers are looking for, that May is a buyer's market. Hybrid sales grew in April by over 9% year-to-date as electric vehicle sales plummeted by over 35%. EVs dropping about 5% of the market. Consumers are moving more toward hybrids to avoid the high costs and charging challenges of full EVs, especially now that the federal tax credits are gone. Hybrids are now on pace to outsell EVs by 3-1 this year. That's Fox Wheels. I'm Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
WMUN 92.5 FM and all the rest. Steve Lindell, your host. Let's see, tomorrow Judd Fisher will be one of our guests. This week is a busy one. Jenny Marsh later on in the week from Heart of Indiana United Way. And this is all from memory, so don't quote me on if I make a mistake. Oh, my memory. Fading. Oh, fading. It is 8:52, also fading our time together today. Look what I did there. Final item for us to the August 2025 archives for this one.
The Dean's List with Janice Dean.
A Canadian hiker saved by a Doberman from a charging grizzly bear makes today's Dean's List.
71-year-old Craig Campbell and his 10-year-old Doberman Knight were heading along a trail when they noticed something moving in the bush. Having been out in the wilderness before, Craig thought it was a deer or an elk, but all of a sudden, a giant bear came out and was charging right for them. Craig reached for his bear spray can, but realized he couldn't get it on time. Craig thought they were going to die, but that's when his hero dog Knight sprang forward and got between his owner and the bear. The dog crouched down and growled at the grizzly. That made the bear stand up on its hind legs, but then a miracle happened. The bear backed off and disappeared into the woods. Knight was recently inducted into the Purina Animal Hall of Fame for his bravery. He makes today's Doggy Dean's list. Janice Dean, Fox News.
All right, Janice still on leave from her work at Fox News and Weather. We hope for a good report coming soon. We hope for a good report from you soon, too. Again, reach out with a phone call and a voicemail to us, 289-6397. News tips there, too. You can also email us anytime, WMUN@woofboom.com, WMUN@woofboom.com. For my producer in the Axia Command Center, son of Al and recent graduate of Ball State University, Aiden Foster, I'm Steve Lindell. Back again tomorrow morning, every day, 8 to 9 a.m. live from Studio B for Delaware County Today on WMUN.